Okay, so just lay down on your back, just like you are, just slide off your shoes. I do this constantly with the clients, and I'll do the verbal intake. And what's your name?
Lena.
Hey, Lena, great. Listen, what did you come in for today? Fun. Cool. I've never had anybody say that, but that's a good, I like that. That works for me. So you need more work on your right side, right? Okay, and it's more like in your arm and wrist. These little bitty wrists. These wrists are more petite than mine. Not by much, but a
They
little
can
bit.
pack a punch, I'll tell you what.
And then how's all this in here?
Yeah, it's pretty tight.
Pretty tender? Okay. So just to give me a little bit more space, the problem is this is a sky mat. And this sky mat is just a little too small. My mat is 8 foot by 8 foot. I can like walk around the client. The sky mat, different parameters. Can you scoot over that side for me? As far as you can comfortably. There you go. And now I've at least created a little bit more space right here. Oh, how's that in there? And I'm using my hands at first because this is what people are comfortable with. Some of this is a little harder for me to describe verbally because some of the way that I interact with people is so organic at this point. It's almost like trying to discuss like, how do you have a conversation with people? Like there's varying degrees of physical proximity, there's varying degrees of intimacy. Is it a first conversation? Like I'm getting to know the client. Like I tend to start with my hands because they feel like a little more distal, a little more like away, right? So for me, it's not a big deal, but what if I came in and like sat up against you? How do you feel about that?
Well, it's an adjustment.
What's the...
I wouldn't feel comfortable doing my wrist around it.
Yeah.
Like getting on the table, I wouldn't even think about it.
And when I say getting on, even this,
Yeah.
you consider getting on.
Yeah.
So the parameters shift massively, and you have to understand, I don't own a massage table. I'm a licensed massage therapist. I graduated massage school in 2002. Yes, I dated myself. 2002, YouTube wasn't invented or created for another 4 years. That's how old I am at this point. Cultural context, I completely understand, and it's like I point those things out just so people, eventually, you guys will see as you do this, you're gonna be all over the client in ways that don't really conform to like Western conceptions of massage, but the work itself is great. You just have to manage it within the culture that you're in. People kept telling me like I don't know, traditional Thai massage teachers like wanted to be more Thai, basically. And I'm like, yo bro, I'm a white guy from South Louisiana. Like, I'm trying to get Bubba to take off his boots and get off the backhoe so I can work on him. And he's gonna talk to me about, we took this hot water heater and smoked a brisket, you know, or whatever, did some welding. It's like, this is the context I'm in. How's that right there? Cool. Is it too much pressure?
No.
Too sharp, anything? Feels like there is a bubble in your arm.
I didn't raise my hand because like I need to work, but
So,
oh my god, I'm like coming off the table.
so her wrist is able to like move all these different directions, and then look at the little bruise right there. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
It's a moderate.
Oh, it's fine. I just wanted to make sure. So she's got her arm out here, and all I did really was just kind of feel muscle tissue. You guys do this all day. You know how to feel with your hands. This was just to like see where the issue was. Now I'm gonna do the real work with other tools. Like, cause I just wouldn't come in and, I mean I could, but like why would I put pressure on my wrists when I'm trying to show you guys how to take pressure off your wrists? Make sense? So I'm gonna use my forearm on steroids on a sky mat. I'm gonna use my forearm on steroids on a sky mat. Now, I'm just gonna stack body weight. Is that a little too close to the elbow?
No.
Okay. Does that feel too sharp? Now, if I lean in, if I reinforce with this forearm right here, how's that? Is the pressure too much?
No.
Okay. How does it feel on the extensor side, on the other side of the forearm?
Starting to feel it.
Starting to feel it?
Yeah.
Is it excessive?
I don't think so.
And for me, I want to clarify this for the client. I'm like, it can feel intense, that's fine.
Okay.
If you're like, woo, woo, I'm aware of that. But if it's painful and you're like contracting, then I just want to back off a little bit.
No.
Okay.
I can see.
Now, our lighting in here is not super great, but now I'm going to give her some active mobilization, myofascial, pin and stretch with my forearm on steroids on a sky mat. How's your thenar right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
You found something.
And again, don't overwork your hands. I'm using my thumb. I'm just trying to explore the little pad there just to see. She was talking about her crabby claw in here. I'm gonna kind of pinch from both sides. How's that?
That's good.
Okay.
It's light.
Now, a big part of this for me is essentially, even though I was grabbing the thenar, what I'm really doing is just mobilizing her hand and wrist. When I do this, what is that doing to forearm flexors? When I do this, what does it do to the forearm extensors? Yeah. So it's a passive mobilization. Now in her case, because she's a therapist, she knows her body. What happens if you close your hand into a fist? What happens if you pull your fist up towards here? There you go. What happens if you, don't tell your boss, what happens if you give your boss the middle finger? There you go. And then extend your fingers out. And then what happens if your hand comes back this way? So for you, what feels like, oh, right there? Oh, what movement?
That one.
Right there?
Uh-huh.
Feels more beneficial? And do you prefer to do that for yourself, or do you like when I assist?
The assist helps.
Cool. Now, what I did is I just gave her a choice. Some clients are like, nope, I like to do it. Cool. Great. Other clients, let me assist and do it for them. Just like that. Do the fingers come out and back a little more? Too much?
Do it again.
Now, how does your hand feel at the moment?
It's losing blood.
It's losing blood.
Yeah, it's tingly. Yeah, that's the word.
It's losing blood. I was a philosophy student, I'm thinking about that. So, I'm pretty pale one, kind of pink, right? Like, look at how jaundiced, like, her hand is at the moment. It's like, it's losing blood, right?
Yeah.
So, any tingles?
Oh, so many.
Numbness?
The pinky.
Mainly in the pinky?
Yeah.
No, what about your, like, wrist and hand? How's it feel? So, big, broad compression. Does it look like I'm working hard? The clients do not care, I promise you, they do not care whether you work hard. They want it to be effective, that's all. Like, when they want more pressure, it's just because they're, you know, they want more pressure, and we're using all of our body weight through this, which is not like a good tool for like deep pressure, especially that's sustained. So do this for me just a couple times. Right there. So you guys, and again, the lighting in here isn't super great. I just want you to look at her hand, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the reinforcement. I'm going to back off of this super slow because that compression is so deep. I want you to look at her hand and look at what happens as I slowly back off. Now, the compression is deep enough, and I love this about these pants. If your boss is smart, they're going to get tie fisherman pants with the company's logo on it, and you could leave a logo right there. And after every client, you can take an Instagram photo for your marketing. How does that feel?
Better. Yeah.
So like move it around now because I heard like a joint crack. How much work did I really do on the hand? But all the forearm flexors and extensors, where do they go? And cross the wrist joint. And you guys, I mean, you guys are mechanics. You're in there like working on people. I know you. I see you. I see you guys working on people. I know what you do. I know what you do. So the deal is, the forearm flexors, especially in this meaty junction, kind of in the top half of the forearm, super, super safe.